let's talk about energy. How important is energy? Let's take a look for a second here. Think about the world economy. Think about what's going on today with the price of oil. Take a look at this Market Insider report, this graph right here. Back in April of 2019, this is talking about the price of a barrel of oil. It was dropping to 64, going all the way to our current price. Right here, it is, what does it say, 31 and $22. Okay, so energy is important to everybody, and that's just for today. Energy affects everything. Energy moves everything, literally. It takes energy to move something. Energy drives all the processes in nature that recycle water and other forms of matter. So the processes where water is evaporated, made into clouds, falls to the ground, lands in a river, the river flows. Okay, that water cycle is driven by energy. Other forms of matter that cycle is driven by energy. Oops, hold on a second. PowerPoint didn't quite work. There we go. Humans use many forms of energy. We use it for building things. We use it for communicating. Right now, we're using energy to make this video. There we go. We use it for exploring, whether you're researching online or whether you're taking a trip and exploring and looking at things in person. So what is energy? Can we define it? Not really. It's really hard to define energy, but we can describe it. No one knows what energy is. We only know what it does or has the potential to do. Right? So we can't define it and say this is energy, but we know what it does, we know it has the potential to do, and we can harness it, and we measure it. Energy is a positive scalar quantity measured in joules. You may be thinking, I know something that's measured in joules, and you would be thinking of work. Work and energy are both measured in joules. Let's take a look at a type of energy called potential energy. Take a look at the stored energy, right, in this catapult, stored in the elasticity of this little rubber band here. Take a look at the energy being exchanged from the high part of this water level going through the dam. Okay, the gravity force is creating energy as it's causing the water to fall through the turbines, and we have some potential energy being changed into mechanical electrical energy. So energy is something that an object can do. Let's go back to that slide a second here. Energy is something that does something or has the potential to do something. So here's the slide where we have the potential to do something. Energy can be doing something. Okay, here we have, it's a little blurry there. Somebody, okay, we have two people running. They're doing energy. They have kinetic motion. Sorry, I don't know why that came out blurry. To understand some aspects of the nature of energy, you need to compare it, or you can compare it with wealth, meaning items that you trade, right? So you can think of exchanging something for something. Okay, energy can be exchanged for work. So joules of energy can be exchanged for joules of work. Energy can be exchanged for matter. Energy can be exchanged for other types of energy, like heat energy can be changed into light energy, or electrical energy can be changed into light energy. Energy is operationally defined as the ability to do work, or the ability to work. So work and energy are interchangeable and are measured in the same unit. Work is force times distance. Distance, or force, force is measured in newtons, right? Distance is measured in meters. Force is newtons, right? Distance is meters. Force is newtons. So newtons times meters is going to give us joules, Newton meters. Hold on a second. Potential energy is sometimes called the energy of position. So think of a railroad car at the top of a mountain. It can gain speed from the force of gravity. In this case, when the railroad car is at the top of the mountain, okay, it has a position, okay, at the top of the mountain, then it has potential energy. So potential energy is sometimes the energy of position or condition. Sometimes potential energy can be described as a condition. For instance, the condition of propane molecules is that they can be broken to produce heat. Okay, propane molecules can be changed, right, and combined with some oxygen in the air and burn and provide heat. A system's potential energy depends on its position. It also depends on the force that has the potential to move the system from its current position. All right, so think of that. System's potential energy depends on its position. Think of the train at the top of a hill. And a force. Gravity is the force that moves this position, moves the train from its position at the top of the hill. Okay, here's a picture of one of the first roller coasters. All right, so the coaster car would go to the top of the hill and then it would come back down and then would go up to the hill on the other side. This is one of the first railroads up near where we live here in Pennsylvania, Jim Thorpe. This is a switchback railroad where there is a cable pulling, where mules would walk down the hill and pull the cable car up, and the cable is wrapped around a drum, and then they would let the car go down the other side of a gradual slope, all right, being carried along by gravity. It had the potential of gravity. It was basically a runaway car. So that's potential energy. The other type of energy is kinetic energy. The kinetic energy of a system is the energy of motion. Motion, all moving matter, regardless of size, has kinetic energy. If it's moving, it has kinetic energy. How much kinetic energy? Depends on the mass and, of course, the speed. It really depends on the speed. The faster an object's moving, if you increase the speed of an object, you really increase the kinetic energy. If you increase the mass, you'll double it. If you increase the speed, you will quadruple the kinetic energy. So think of mass and speed of a whale versus a goldfish. Which one will have more kinetic energy? How about based on mass? The whale definitely wins, has more kinetic energy. How about based on speed? Well, I don't think the goldfish is going to go too fast in its aquarium, but the whale can move very quickly. So the whale will have more kinetic energy based on speed. Classification of energy, I think we're going to end there. I believe that's the end of the notes. I'm just checking. All right, it's not. We use energy in many different forms. We can classify energy by how we sense it. Okay, what does it feel like? For instance, thermal energy, you're going to feel heat. So it's called thermal energy for a reason. Or by its principal source. Think of electric energy. Electric energy comes from electrons. Many forms of energy come from the different ways that matter possesses, a little spelling error there, possesses kinetic or potential energy. And we'll talk more about that next time. All right, and your homework is to complete section 6A questions.